What did you email the IMF about?
About before Christmas there, about the pension that Mr. Count, our former Prime Minister, was a teacher, was getting there. Now I couldn't believe it. I want to know whose money that he was getting. Were we paying that money for him as well? You know what I mean?
Did you get a reply from the IMF?
No.
Okay.
Certainly not.
But you have got a reply from your own pension scheme, the Construction Workers Pension Scheme, the CWPS. How long have you been working in the building, as they say?
35 years contributing to it, about 40 years in it altogether. I started when I was about 17. So for the first 4 years, you're an apprentice. So you're not in the scheme till you come out of your time, Joe.
So 35 years contributing to a pension every single week.
Yep.
What will your pension be?
Estimated cash lump sum. If I keep on working till 65, will be 13,000. Estimate yearly pension will be 2,759. And if I don't make any more contribution to it, it'll be 1,584 yearly. So between the two of them, it'll be 50 if I keep working, if I get work, and 30 if I don't get work.
€30 a week pension.
Builder's pension, if you know what I mean. You get the old age pension, I presume, Joe.
Of course, but it's a pension scheme. Now, have you been onto the construction workers pension scheme?
I haven't, Joe, because this everyone in the building trade will tell you that's it, Joe. That's what you get, full stop. And even after 5 years, if you do get the full pension, which 2,700 a year, after 5 years, it'll go down. It'll be paid in full up to 5 years. And then it'll probably be reduced after that. So I don't know how long it'll last for that, Joe. But it's a long time paying into it, Joe. Like that man out at AIB, I think he's only in this job a year and a half. Not bad for a couple of million there, is it, Joe? I'm 35 years in it. I've only one house, like majority of people in the building industry, Joe. Like we save for a rainy day, and we're definitely out to be flooded out with this anyway, Joe. You know.
Colin Doherty pension compared to other pensions. The construction, what's the name of your pension scheme again, Patrick?
The Executive Construction Industry Federation pension scheme.
And are you in the construction workers pension?
I retired now.
Okay.
I retired in 2003, but I was in the worked for a construction company in Ireland for 27 years, and I was part of that pension scheme, when I retired when I was let go by the company in 87 or 88 rather, there was I got statutory of a half a week per year of service, right. And then I was entitled to claim my pension in 2003, which I did, and I got a lump sum of 2,000, and my annual pension now is €607 per year.
Per year?
Per year.
And many years did you pay into the scheme?
Well, the company paid it. It was 27 years.
John is in Limerick. That's Patrick in Cork. John, good afternoon.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for taking my call.
The Construction Workers Pension Scheme. How many years did you pay into it?
So I went into it in 1989. Now, I probably hold the record in Ireland, I'm sure. When I retire at the age of 65,
all right.
I'll just read out what's on it there. I'm entitled to €61.58 when I retire a year.
A year?
A year, Joe. I'll get a lump sum of €62.75. I've already ordered the Merc. That gives me €1.18 a week. Now, Joe, figure that out. And these bankers got how much?
Well, the pension will work out, according to the Indo this morning, 300,000 a year. But they say, the Indo also say, in fairness, that if you benchmark it against what the retiring ministers got from the previous government, it's Colin Doherty is chicken feed.
Yeah.
And what much a week is your pension, John?
My pension off of the CWPS is going to be €1.18 a week. I couldn't even buy a pint. I'm glad you phoned me back because I couldn't afford the phone call with the money.
Stay there, John, in Limerick. 51551. Dolores, good afternoon.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
You say you have done an investigation into the Construction Workers Pension Scheme.
I have, for many years now.
And sorry, not that you would disbelieve them. Do you believe John when he says I'll get a pension after paying 25, 30 years into this pension scheme? I'll get a pension of just over €1 a week.
Yes, I would believe that, because the pension isn't about the pension. It's about other things, Joe.
Oh, God.
What's the construction workers' pension scheme?
Well, the construction workers' pension scheme is a mandatory scheme, so it's not like an employer can shop around for the best deal. It's on foot. Again, we come back to a registered employment agreement. So you're covered by a registered employment agreement, which mandates that you go into the construction workers' pension scheme. Now, they have their offices up where the CIF are. They're the big boys, the Construction Industry Federation. The Construction Workers' Pension Scheme is run by 5 trade unionists and 5 big employers. We're talking major employers. Some of them are in NAMA now. And they run it, basically. And whilst running it, now that's the REA states you have to join the CWPS. What the way the Registered Employment Agreement doesn't state or cover is the amount of money they collect and send off to 2 private companies in order to police the agreement that 99% of us have no say into. So then you come to expenses, and in 2006 they took 15,075,000. I'm looking at it here. In 2007, these 10 trustees were paid €171,162. Now, I worked that out because these boys normally meet once a month. So
But hang on, if they're trade unionists and if they're employers, they're paid to go to these meetings anyway, as part of their job, aren't they?
Well, yes, but you see, again, part of the Registered Employment Agreement, the front for it is employees' rights, employees' condemned.
Okay, make your point, Dolores, about expenses.
Well, when I work through my expenses here, say they meet for a full day, once a month, 8 hours a day, that works out at €162.08 an hour. That's 3 times more than one boy who was getting 50.
So you're saying each of the 11 trustees, on average, got 15,500 expenses?
Correct.
But hang on. My point is that if a trade unionist, as part of his or her job, is to sit on this trust, that's part of your day's work. You don't get paid extra to go to meetings that are part of your work.
No, but they get expenses, I'm sure, for going to their e-pace meetings, SEMA meetings. It's all a money-making racket, Joe. It quacks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it's a duck. In 2008, the NECI, as you know, went to the Labour Court to challenge this. The chairman of the Labour Court, Mr. Duffy, and the next judge said, actually, we're involved in the construction workers' pension scheme. They never stepped up and said, excuse me, we can't hear this case because we're involved, we're trustees.
But you're saying they did say it?
After 3 hours of evidence.
They did say it. Now, we've been trying to get the construction workers' pension scheme to come on the programme, and they do exist, and we have been talking to them at length, but for some reason they're very reluctant to come on the programme, which is their right, of course. But their bottom line is, they say, and they say it baldly, we are a not-for-profit pension scheme.
Oh, well... And, you know, the construction workers' pension scheme are part of putting people out of work as well. I just confirmed this 5 minutes before I came on. We've had to put our lads on short time. We're probably going to go because the black market is just rampant. You cannot stay straight in this business. And if my lad, if I get a day's
You're saying
work
electricians now are saying pay us in cash?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. But if your boy works an afternoon, if you get a day's work for him, you have to pay the construction workers' pension scheme the full rate. The full rate. So what do employers do now? Because they're so expensive, they just say, I'll have to P45 you because I can't pay that pension and you. It's part and parcel. It's one of the main elements of why we've got a black economy and why we've got working class males on the dole.
Okay, and the CWPS, but again I extend an invitation to them to come on the programme.
They won't answer.
They say the figure you quoted, which is Gerard's figure of the pension he's on, which is €30 a week, is not untypical of the pensions the scheme would pay out.
We've already highlighted this before.
Okay.
Joe, could I come in there, please?
Yeah, who's that, John?
Patrick
in Cork.
Yeah, just sort of a small issue. A colleague of mine who was in a similar situation to me, during the years of the Celtic Tiger, he wrote to the Construction Industry Federation and asking them, with the view that with the way the construction industry was going in the boom time, could they sort of see their way to increasing his pension? And they wrote back to him and said to him, no, we couldn't increase your pension, but if you are in need, we will give you this. We will supply you with the name of the local Vincent de Paul office.
Let me go to Tommy. Tommy, good afternoon. The Construction Workers Pension Scheme, you say it's straightforward and there's no hassle with it. Tommy?
Well, I would just like to clarify the vilification I can only describe it on. And thank you, Joe, for allowing me to come on and put the case. I'm a former trustee of the pension scheme. I was 12 years a trustee. I'm a retired trade union official of the TWEU. I retired as Assistant General Secretary. And I've had a long experience of all pension schemes because I negotiated throughout Ireland, manufacturing right down to public.
And are the pensions that low?
Now, yes. Well, if I could just put it in perspective, the pension scheme was first introduced, the construction pension scheme, in 1973, and it was introduced as, in fairness at the time, an initiative made by, in particular, the head of the CIF, the late Tom Reynolds. For 10 to 12 years, it existed as a purely employer trustee organisation, and the employer set the level of contribution. The contribution, while there was a 5-yearly review, was rarely reviewed except by increasing the amount by minuscules, by pence. So in a pension scheme, you have to have income to generate income for investment and income for the people. So for many, many years, the situation prevailed that very small increases in contributions on both sides, and in this instance the employers paid 2/3, the employee paid 1/3, but there were minuscule contributions up to about 7 or 8 years ago when there was pressure and a renegotiated scheme was put in place, and everyone was put on what's called a defined contribution scheme. In this instance, because of the massive wide employment in the construction industry, every individual has to be tracked.
But you heard the man. Did you hear the man who's paying it for 25 years and he's getting €1.18 a week?
Well, now I would have to challenge that, and it would be necessary to look at it.
Well, then the other man, Jared, who's getting €30 a week, he was in it for 30 years.
Well, you know what is not checked in that is the frequency of his contributions, where his contributions made from all the different employers that said they were doing it. It's a widespread practice in the industry for certain employers, and it's very widespread not to pay the contribution. There's a major scandal about that, and it's constantly being fought, and the scheme is constantly chasing
Dave Butler, your quick point, Dave.
Quick point is, John, I didn't know Tommy was going to be on there, but I'd like to ask Tommy, how come his union, the TWEU union, has received in excess of €250,000 from a private limited company called EPACE, which is totally funded by employee and employer monies, which are redirected from the CWPS pension scheme. Simple question for Tommy there.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked me that question, because it gets me to the nub of the point in that regard. Because of massive widespread non-adherence to the scheme, which is a legally binding scheme registered as an employment contract in the Labour Court, and a massive evasion, it was found necessary to set up, with the authority of the court, with full legal authority, a monitoring, it was called a monitoring agency. That monitoring agency was charged with sending people, training them, and sending them around all sites all over Ireland, training people and sending them. These people had to be facilitated with travel, they had to be paid, and they had to be, in other words...
Okay, your quick point, Dave.
Quick point, with the facility of the court, Tommy said. This is the same court. Sorry, Tommy, I'll let you speak.
Your quick point, Dave, and I don't want any names mentioned now.
Yeah, this is the same court whose chairman was also a trustee of the same
but he said that openly then, as the lawyer said. You know, in fairness, he did.
I'm trying to close the circle here, Joe. This thing has been dressed up, as Tommy said there, as a fight for employees' rights. In fact, there's a lot of money being made, which should be invested into pension schemes. People who work in the construction industry are not coming out with €50 a year for the rest of their lives. That money is being sent to the wrong places, Joe.
Okay, we'll come back to that tomorrow.